Hey, welcome back to the High Heels and Tea podcast. I'm Crystal Lee.
This is Rihanna.
And y'all, today we joined by a special guest, David Treadway. This episode will be about you.
Okay.
Trust your dopeness.
Trust your
Okay?
dopeness.
So since it's about you, we're going to dive right into it.
Okay, let's do it.
I want you to share just real quick, brief about your brand, Trust Your Dopeness.
Trust your dopeness was something I just came up with. It's just a cool way to say believe in yourself. That's essentially all it is. But over time, when I started saying it, I didn't know that it would become like a brand or a big thing. It was just something that I believed in. And so I just want to always spread positivity, love, and inspiration to people. And so I just found a cool way of saying believe in yourself.
I thought it was like from a spiritual.
Nah, not really. Like everything like that's been going on is just kind of like just be happening organically. One day I just said, "Hey, trust your dopeness." Like,
It's dope.
Yeah. But that is dope, though.
Ain't that dope?
yeah. And
Like-
so I don't know. I just really feel like as you continue to build and build and build and work towards something, the organic stuff is the things that really take off and not the things that's planned.
Okay. So I had another question, but I want to actually dive into this because it's off of what you're saying. Like you do personal styling, right?
Correct.
With personal styling, it's more about like motivating the person from an internal place, right? You have to really like be their coach, like personal coach,
Sure.
styling coach. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Is it like boosting their self-esteem is what you're saying?
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So with Trust Your Dopeness, did you realize that like when you first came up with it all, like how much personal coaching you would have to be with someone? You
Sure. Yeah, I know right off the bat because, like, I understand what styling does someone, whether it's fashion styling, whether it's hairstyling, whether it's somebody getting a haircut. Like,
Good.
it just, it really just changed your whole dynamic, at least for that time. And so with me, I knew what a good outfit would do for somebody. And then not only that, that's where your trust your dopeness come into. It's about building the confidence,
Right.
because I wasn't always a confident person, and so people looked at me and thought like I always had high self-esteem and stuff. I was always confident, but that wasn't always the case. Like it was really a message to me and building myself up. It was something that I encouraged myself with daily.
Okay.
It was like the morning affirmations you speak to yourself, like, man, trust your dopeness, go out here and believe in yourself. Don't discount yourself. Forget about what somebody ever told you that you weren't worthy or you weren't adequate. Like, and so that's where.
So when did you discover your confidence in fashion? Because you got a whole unique style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like the first male that you check his IG out. Okay, you check his IG out. I did send it to him. You check his IG
I'll
out.
check it.
But
When
I'm
y'all
like,
check it out,
dang,
I'm check it out.
this dude is really dope. Like, I love your style, and I'm
Thank
pretty sure
you.
you
I
hear that all the
appreciate it.
time. But when did you find that confidence in your style? Because now you ain't used to dress like that. He ain't dressed like that in high school, but yeah.
So I definitely got to check them out, though.
Yeah, he ain't dressed like
Since
that.
you
back
always
then.
telling me I need to do fashion style.
Yes.
Yeah, you should.
Yes.
But to answer your question, great question. About, I mean, I always dress, right?
You did. You
But
went
I never
packing.
really took it serious.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that you could make a career out of it. I didn't think like it really mattered being in a small city. But when I would go out to LA, when I travel to Chicago, when I go to New York, people were always fly, like, and specifically males, because here in St. Louis, it kind of like it don't matter. Throw on some sweats, throw on the TV, you know.
true.
But the well-groomed man in other cities is like
Yeah,
it's different, and
I
so
100% agree.
yeah, here in St. Louis, it really don't matter. And then people
That's why you
think,
stand out so much too.
yeah, and then a lot of times people think like when you clean yourself up and you groom yourself, it's to like, you know, nothing against the LGBT community. They think you're gay. You know what I mean? I get a lot of questions about like, are you gay? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, nah, I just like to dress nice.
We do, as women here, we do sometimes be like, oh, he metrosexual.
Yeah.
But he ain't even there with
he
his
likes
style.
to
It's
do
still
this.
masculine. It's different because he wear colors.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I see that. But it's not feminine. You know what I mean? It's not something you'll be like, oh my God, girl.
Well, he got
Like, tell me what you think. What you think when you see this picture?
Are we
Well, I'm
sure?
glad she's saying it because I done got opposite.
You done got all that.
Yeah.
It probably depends on what. And clothes, and a lot of women here and people who are very close-minded.
True.
So that's why they're not open to different things. They're not open to real fashion. They think the real fashion is what the next person has on. So that's probably
You
what
got to
it is.
check him
true.
out. He
It's
is dope.
true.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So seriously, 5 years ago, but it really started taking off in the pandemic. I was bored. I got laid off my executive chef job, and so I just started putting on clothes. Got me a photographer, and we just started doing lifestyle shots around the city. And then that's when it really
But
became a thing.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Something
Yeah,
had to inspire you to even take that step because that's an entrepreneur step.
yeah, sure.
So you don't go just get laid off like, I'm finna hire a photographer, get some
Today is the
pictures
day.
taken. Like it ain't the holidays.
It was bored. The city shut, the world shut down, and there's nothing to do. Of course, I had my catering company, so we would do a lot of business on the weekend, like grab and goes. We still did like private events and stuff like that. So that was doing well. But throughout the week, I was just bored, and I'm used to working and
Yeah.
hustling and grinding and using my creativity. And so that's when I was just like, I'm just start putting on some clothes. And then also, people always ask me like, where you get this from? How much this costs? Where? And so that's when I created the whole
See,
lookbook.
I love
And a
that.
See, that's
lookbook,
the thing.
See?
yeah,
See, I agree with you 100% because Crystal be on me about that. I get that all the time.
yeah,
But people say that all the time, but they don't be wanting to dress like me because it's not really, it's about what you say. It's the first thing, confidence.
yeah,
When you have confidence, you can put on whatever you feel.
true.
If people always say, oh, where'd you get that from? Where'd you buy that? But then it was like, oh, girl, they ain't gonna look right on me.
Hey, you're
Oh, that ain't,
100% right.
that's, you sure you did that? Oh, when I went to buy it, it wasn't right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think exactly what you said in the beginning. It's about building that confidence and being able to just do whatever you please.
But as a styling coach, that's part of your job. Coach. It's to coach them characteristics.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That desire that they want to be from this. Like you want to go from plain Jane to top trending influencer, things like that. You have to coach those personalities.
Those
Yeah.
You know what I'm
personality
saying?
traits.
Like
Okay.
Sure.
from my workshop, for instance, you say you want to walk in heels, but you never done it before. I could be like, man, they say they want to do it, but they don't want to do it. Or
Yeah.
I gotta
Just
be
do it.
transparent,
Yeah.
like how you mentioned. You gotta be transparent and say, you know what, I know what it feels like to not have that confidence, and you gotta pour from that.
Sure.
And then they'll be like, oh, I never knew you. The way you look, I ain't think you was somebody that didn't have confidence. The way you look, I ain't think.
Yeah.
Before you know it, they trust in their dopeness.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, look
Absolutely.
at
It's a
you.
style.
Absolutely.
But but look, I know that because I had to research to talk to him. I was just looking at his bio. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, creative director, style coach. I was like, what's the difference? And so there was
Yeah.
another thing. I didn't know it was a difference in celebrity stylist, creative. And I was just like, wow, it's a real difference. But that really stuck out, obviously, because it has a correlation to what I do.
Yeah.
That's how I could talk to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody. I can just talk to it.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
What I
Right,
do.
right.
Yeah. So coming from your food industry to the fashion industry, how has that been for you?
It's been good.
And do you find it less stressful?
I do.
Why?
Because I'm responsible for me and my work,
Mhm.
and I get to hire my own team. A lot of times you work in these environments where the ownership and the leadership lacks. They really don't care as long as they're making money, they fine. But the team environment is trash. And so that's less stressful in itself. Then you talking about like crazy work hours with me being an executive chef. If somebody call off, I gotta go in. If I'm
Yeah,
trying to go vacation, I gotta wait till everybody else come on vacation, and I just gotta make sure everything's flowing right.
Yeah.
And so it's tons of less stress off me.
Yeah.
And then like I'm good at being a chef. I was passionate at one point, but clothes has always been my thing. Fashion has always been my thing that I wanted to get off into. I just didn't know that you can have a career here in St. Louis. And so
But is most of your clientele local, or is your clientele actually pulling from other
other
areas?
cities,
Yeah.
for sure.
Uh-huh.
Other cities for
You
sure.
especially that's what happened
Yeah.
with me too. Like doing the workshop, like I just did one yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, it was a small class, but I'm like, I can say New York, I'm coming. No
Yeah.
promotion, no
And
no
they
flyer,
own
Yeah.
it.
and sell out.
Yeah.
Just say go to my site, I'm coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes the audience is just not here.
Yeah.
And one thing about I don't want to put so much like negative on St. Louis per se, but it's just sometimes your city is not your market.
And I
You know
think
what I
it's
mean?
what we said earlier. I think it's that closed-minded mentality
Yeah.
I
here.
was just
It's
getting
like
just a little to that.
I think we basically, we get some haters a little bit too.
Not
so,
we. Damn.
Not we ain't, but we're from St. Louis. But I'm
Not
saying
we.
a lot of people in St. Louis, they have that hater mentality. So
Yeah.
even when they do see you, because like I know we run into the fact of people think that you're not from here. So it's like, you coming to St. Louis? I've been in St. Louis. I
I'm always
started this
here.
in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they only looking at you afar.
Of
They
course.
seeing you in New York. They seeing you in Washington D.C. They
Yeah.
seeing you all these different places, and now they're like, oh, okay,
Yep.
she's here, so I'm gonna jump on board.
Yeah.
But then when
Yeah.
I come back home, oh,
They be like this.
where
Yeah.
everybody at? Like, what's going on now? What's happening? Or just like, even with our shoe retail
Yeah.
businesses,
Yeah.
me and you kind of have different mindsets
Yeah,
when it comes to shoe styles.
Mhm.
So, we get a lot of shoe purchases from different cities compared to the shoe purchases we get here. So it's because we have we kind of think outside the box. We're not in the same situation. We might get a few people that be like, okay, I want to get this done and blah, blah, blah. But half the time they be faking.
They be fake.
Look, I'm dealt with that
Okay.
so much.
Has it been easy building a team?
No,
Or
not
are you
really.
like a one-man team?
I'm a one-man team.
Okay.
Like my relationships organically like happen. So the relationships that I build or the people that's already been in my circle is the ones that help me. Like, so I have an assistant. Her name is Paige. She's amazing. Like, she's like a one-man wrecking crew.
I'm like, hey, Paige.
Huh?
Yeah, hey,
It's
Paige.
it's just organically happened.
Okay.
Like, she just came around and she started dating somebody in my circle,
Okay.
and so
She fell in your lap.
she was just and so like I just believe in a higher power,
Yeah.
and I believe as you work towards anything that your heart and your mind is in agreement with, then God is going to work out the rest. Like,
Of
He's going
course.
to add those people. He's going to order your steps. Like, He's going to put you in certain rooms.
Just
Okay.
like
It's
Crystal.
just yeah.
So I have a question for you. I'm gonna really put you on the spot.
Okay.
From a styling standpoint.
Okay.
What does our style say about us? I want you to critique us. And then now critique doesn't mean negative though. So I don't
Okay,
want you
I
to think
got
I'm trying to I don't want you to take
Yeah.
shots because there's really nothing you can say about me. But whatever.
Yeah.
What would you add or take away if you were styling us? Hold on, let me put my earring, make sure my earring in my ear.
What I would add or what I would take away.
What
You
does
really
what
put
does
me on
our
the spot.
style say first?
Well,
Like,
y'all
you got a
style,
style.
it speaks confident and self-awareness.
Okay.
Like with the brightness and the diamonds and with the the silver high heels and yeah. So it speaks confidence for sure.
Okay.
I don't know what I
Now
would
we
add or
different
take away.
though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, y'all are. But y'all in conjunction
With
today, like,
colors.
yeah,
We always.
got the white and silver vibe with the little with the little
I'm trying to
diamond.
make sure we're in
Yes.
sync. Yeah.
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 Now y'all look good. I wouldn't add to take nothing away.
All right, you can't. See
I
what I'm
can't.
saying?
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
can't.
I wanted to put
I
that
can't
on
do
camera.
that. Yeah.
I wanted to put that on camera.
I ain't about to do that.
I always said I ain't about to do that.
I want y'all to welcome me back to this
I ain't about to get
High Heels
into
and
it.
Two
I ain't gonna say that
podcast.
wrong.
Suggestion. You could say your suggestion if you had one. I'm intrigued. I want to know. If
Nah, we ain't about to do
like
that.
Crystal, you know what you should do next time? You know what
Nah.
I would do, Crystal? You could do that. You would hurt my
Yeah,
feelings.
most
I mean, like I
definitely.
said, I don't think there's nothing you can say, but I could be wrong. All right, I'm
Okay.
joking.
Nah, you good.
All right, so I have a good question. By you being a man in this industry, I want you to share 3 things that every man should have in his closet in
That's a
2023.
good one. Yeah.
Like what's coming? What are the
That is a good
trends,
one.
or what is like that it piece, something essential?
3 things. I would say every man should have a black suit.
Okay.
Every man, the trending piece, I would say, and I've been barking it since 2020 in the pandemic. Every man should have a pair of like bell bottoms or flare pants. That's the trendy thing. Something flowy, oversized, and last thing, a good watch. Every man should own a good watch.
That's good.
I agree. I like the watch.
And some cologne, man. I
Accent.
think.
So say 4 things.
Yeah. Let me add that with like y'all got to get y'all some good fragrances.
What you
like,
wearing
What's one of your?
now?
I was gonna say, what's your
Invest.
top fragrance?
Louis Vuitton Limitente is my favorite. Right now, I'm wearing Mason Rowe. I'm wearing Francis
Like,
smell
Mason's
good.
Baccarat.
Smell good.
And so yeah, invest y'all in some colognes. Like, spend some money. Like, if you spend $300 or above on cologne, you won't have to buy
A
all
bunch of
those.
them.
Yeah, it's gonna last you all day.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Some
that's
good
my little
stuff.
style tip. Ladies smell you
Yes.
Can it dry
like they
good?
they pay attention. They pay attention.
I had to look up at Trinity like, oh, I forgot Trinity grown. That's okay. She can smell.
Right.
Okay, I got another good question. So you identified our style. How would you identify your personal style?
I'm sophisticated streetwear. That's
Okay.
that's why I take pride in. I like to be able to walk down the street in my outfits and then also have a business meeting in my outfit. So
Mm,
I
Awesome.
like to blend the two. That's my whole style.
okay.
Versatility.
Yeah.
So when I was looking into this topic too, right? I saw like a lot of stylists look in different magazines for
Hmm.
inspiration. And this actually happened to me. I had like this like brain fart where I didn't have the creativity. And it's like I don't want to copy no one.
Hmm.
And I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for, the universe speak to me or whatever.
Yeah,
And something that we really don't do due to social media is just pick up a magazine
it's true.
and just look. And I picked up a magazine and I was looking in there. I'm a burn survivor now. And there
Hmm.
was a story in there about one of a fashion designer who's a guy who is now a burn survivor. And I can't remember his name, but he had Cher, the singer, walk in his show this year. It was very recently. It was really dope. But anyways, reading the story, looking at the pieces, I got that inspo back and I was able to do a couple of
Yeah,
sets of stuff with
nice.
photography. But what was I saying though? What did I just say?
The
Oh,
inspo from
magazines.
magazines.
What magazine do you go to? Do you have a favorite one? Taking it off of Instagram for inspo. Do you do that?
Uh, Not really. I don't really look into the
That ain't
magazines.
bad.
Like,
Well, check it
I
out.
mean, I follow GQ
Okay.
Okay. That's the
That's
on
same.
good.
Yeah.
Instagram. I follow
See,
them.
that's the thing.
Uh,
Everything is the
On
magazines are
everything
on
is social
Instagram.
media
yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
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 I mean, they still will send you physical copies if you sign up for them and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But GQ,
Okay.
Vogue,
Yes.
then it's a couple ones that if I name, people won't know about. Like
Uh,
it
Okay.
just,
well, you can name them still.
Yeah. You gotta put
okay.
them on.
Yes, put everybody on game.
Free
Yeah.
game.
I might need some inspiration. Gotta go back
Yeah,
to the
like it's
episode.
one locally that I've been following, Pink Muse.
Hmm.
Uh,
You heard of them?
AK Brown, she's a local. She does really, really great work.
Hmm.
And then she just dropped her male collection, and it's fire. And
Okay.
so that's a magazine. Y'all go check out Pink Muse.
Yeah.
Okay.
AK, that's your drop.
Listen,
But
listen.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
really pull for too much of looking from other places. Like I
Yep.
just kind of feel, you know what I mean. I'm a guy that I'll get dressed 100 times to get that good look.
How long it
Hmm.
take you to get
It
dressed?
don't take me long
You
because I'm
sure?
always practicing. Like I really love what I do, so I'm always in
Putting
my
stuff together.
basement. Like my basement look like a mini retail shop.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, I got racks set up, and so I'm always pulling pieces. I'm always practicing my craft. Like
That's awesome.
this is not something I just do. Like this is something like I love. Like I
Hmm.
go to sleep thinking about fashion, wake up
Really?
thinking about fashion. Yeah, and that's how I actually got into it. Like my friend Shan Keith, he's a top designer in the world. Like he came in second place on Project Runway
Okay.
some years back. And
Hmm.
he was like, "Man, you really love fashion, don't you?" And I was just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you think about it when you wake up, when you're going to sleep? Do you wake up?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So imagine yourself doing that." And so
Hmm.
he was kind of like my inspiration to actually jumping
Branch
off
off
and
into
getting
it.
into it as well
Yep.
because nothing else is on my mind as much as this. And so I was
Hmm.
just like, okay, I ain't never thought about it that way. He said, in a perfect world, what would you do? And so I was like, I'll style celebrities, I'll style athletes. And then not knowing like a year later, I would actually be styling celebrities, athletes, and all these
That's
influential
so
Dope.
people.
dope.
So dope.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's dope. All right, I
And
have.
then I got a question.
Okay, go ahead. Because I'll be forgetting. I
Yeah.
forget what I'm talking, what I'm about to ask. I don't even know
It's
how
all
I do
good.
that. I'm like,
This is
wait.
look organic
It's
conversations are the
always
Yes,
best. I'm
organic.
telling you, don't edit it, don't take
We
it
never,
out.
nothing
Like,
would never be
Yeah.
edited. So the High as a Tea podcast is completely unedited.
yeah, no, I
Unedited.
love it. I love what y'all do. I just
I,
want to give y'all flowers real
thank
quick. I know
you.
we
Thank
probably gonna be
you.
wrapping up shortly,
Thank
but
you.
y'all been
Thank
doing
you.
it. Y'all been working. Y'all been
I be having
consistent.
We've been
genuine
working.
brain
Yes.
forts,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
middle of talking, like,
So,
wait, what was I just
so
saying? But go ahead.
being that I'm into fashion too, and it's like I talk to like some of my friends all the time. Like I have a lot of clothes, but in my brain I kind of know what I have. So like even before, like you was just saying, you have a whole retail downstairs and you go through and you try to pick out stuff. Do you envision those things in your brain? Like what outfits you're gonna put together before you go downstairs and look through and know, well, I'm gonna get this, and this, and I'm gonna put this together. But then kind of
Sure,
swap it out.
all the time. So like sometimes I would envision something and then I put it on and it just absolutely don't
Look
work.
right.
That happens to
Okay.
me so many
And it
times.
was like, man, I thought that would go well. And then a lot of times it's the new piece or the new garment that I purchased that's mixed and pairs well with something I may have bought 5 years ago.
This is true.
Like one of my favorite looks that I ever, incorporated. I had bought a shirt and I never wore it. It was like 3 years old, and I bought this jumpsuit, and then it just paired perfectly. So a lot of times, like I'm thinking about, I'm envisioning, but all the time it just don't come out. And that's why I say I practice, and I sometimes I get tired of changing and throwing on clothes, and so yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So when
Great
you
question.
when you're practicing, when you practicing a new look, all that good stuff, do you ever still have like this silent doubt about should I wear this or should I take that picture and it's and post it? Do you actually encounter that still now?
About time I make my way to the camera, it's already locked in the silent.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
done.
anytime I put on something, I'm in front of a camera, I
it's
feel good.
done.
Yeah, I feel good
It's
about it.
done.
And a lot of people are like, you don't miss. I'm like, yeah, I miss a lot. I just miss in the basement. I don't miss when I get in front of the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Say I'm ready after
yeah,
this.
like
Okay.
so, a lot of people be like, I don't miss. That ain't me. Like I don't even like. I really practice. I really practice the
I
craft.
legitimately still I get nervous before I do every workshop. Like I don't do it.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
I
ain't
think
doing.
I think that's normal.
But when I get there,
It's a
there.
different
that's
mindset come
that.
out. Yeah,
That's no. Honestly, when I wake up, that's that.
Yeah,
That
'cause
day I wake up, that's
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
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 So it's like even like if I put on outfits or I like you always pair things together. I know Chris be like, "Oh, that's cute." And I'm like,
Everything she wears
I
cute.
just put this on. I just
Yeah.
I
Be
was just
saying
like
that.
Yeah,
I thought about it. I was like,
right.
that can go with that. I get
Yeah,
it.
Who be saying that?
I
yeah,
literally got everything together this morning at 9 o'clock.
You
I
lied.
swear to God. I was just like,
man.
I
I
got
was looking.
everything at 9
Y'all
o'clock
look good.
yesterday.
Y'all look
Thank
good.
you. I didn't know what she gonna wear. So we got so much in sync, and I made a post about this from the last podcast. We got so much in sync. We don't sit here and be like, "What you wearing? Let me wear."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't even do that.
Yeah,
Yesterday, I text all y'all.
yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Yesterday, I made a video. I'm like, I might wear this, might wear that,
Yeah,
might wear,
yeah,
might sent it to her. I already knew that's all I have to do,
yeah. Yeah.
and
It works out.
that's it. It'll work it out. It'll work out. So
Organic.
yeah,
Organic.
it'll
So
work out,
Everything
organic.
like
Yeah.
everything that's happened in my life has been like really organic.
and it
It's
feel
been like
good.
God is ordering my steps. Like from
Mm,
the chef career, I started washing dishes in high school just to buy clothes and shoes because my mom and dad couldn't afford, family afford. Uh, and it's just like God was ordering my steps. I worked for this executive chef at the Fox Theater, not knowing I would one day be an executive chef. Like, didn't even think I would want to be a basketball coach and a high school teacher. And so, like, then I'm thinking, that's it. I'm about to have this amazing restaurant. And then God, like, pivot me this way. And so, like, everything is organic and
He
everything
is
is
a
God
pivoter.
inspired. And
He will
yeah,
pivot you. He be like, wait a minute, that ain't what I want you to do right now.
yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. But before we wrap it up, I want you to let everyone know where they can find you if they want to hire you to be their stylist, celebrity, down to style coaching.
Yeah.
I want you to plug all your details.
Okay. What's up, everybody? I'm Tread the Great. You can find me at treadthegreat.com for anything that you want to, if you want to work with me, hire me for anything from creative direction, style coach, personal styling, closet organization, wardrobe styling. Treadthegreat.com. On Instagram, I'm at Tread the Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
No problem. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had fun
Good.
talking to y'all. It went fast.
It did, didn't it?
It
Thank
does.
you guys for listening to the
Thank
High Heels
you.
and Tea podcast.